everyone, it's Dali here from ShokART, and this is the ShokART Vintage Notes collection put together by Pip and myself, so me and my sister. And many of you will know that ShokART actually comes from our maiden name, which is Shoka, and we've put a T on the end to make it ShokART. So this is one of our biggest collections we've done to date, and I want to say a big thank you to everybody who purchased the Vintage Notes collection. It has been a great success, both on Create and Craft and also on from the ShokART Market and Friends website and from Pip Art Creations. So I wanted to say a big thank you for that. Now I just want to let you know that when you will receive your box, you'll get a white box, and inside will be the kit. Now the kit for the Create and Craft is a different kit to the one we sell here in ShokART Market and Friends, and obviously we have the individual items, and I know that's sold out on Create and Craft. So just want to let you know what you will receive, and anybody who hasn't received a kit or is looking at purchasing one can then see what will be available. And we still have these available on our website. So within the kit you're going to get a 12 by 12 pad, an 8 by 8, just a little bit larger than an 8 by 8, a 6 by 6, just a little bit smaller, an A4, an A6 postcards, the stamp sets where there's 6 stamp sets, 6 stencils. You're going to get a double journal kit with some glue, an embellishment kit, some vellum, some manila or craft paper, and some envelopes. So that's what the kit consists of, and it's mainly the kit was created because we just love the sort of the notebook feel, the vintage feel. So I wanted something that was for everybody who loved mixed media, loved crafting, loved making cards, scrapbooking, junk journaling, planners. So there's a lot on there. As a part of the kit, we have also put a combination of colours together that support the kit. So there are 4 different 50ml colours there. You've got this beautiful sun yellow, this beautiful turquoise, beige, and red. Then we thought there are a lot of you who want to still have the papers where you can print them. So we produced a ShokART USB. Now we've only got a few of these left. So basically it's just to let you know there are over 600 designs on this. There are different colour waves for the actual Vintage Notes collection. There are a few pages from this colour wave of the Vintage Notes, and then there is a metal rust and a metal fantasy 210 by 210 pad as well. Sentiments, a whole selection of papers, embellishments. So really it's a really great one to purchase. We have a few left now. So let me just quickly show you what you actually get in your kit. So within your kit, you'll get your kit like this. So it will be wrapped up. And let me just put this to this side, and then I can just go through this and show you. So within your kit, you'll first get your 12 by 12. So your 12 by 12, let me just put that there. And this is double-sided, and there are 21 designs. So I'll quickly go through that with you so that you can see that. And it's absolutely beautiful. So you could be cutting these up into 6 by 6s. You could be making these into scrapbook pages. You could be using these in your journals, albums. It really is up to you how you want to use these. But I just wanted to share with you exactly what you're getting. So if anybody is still looking at purchasing or has purchased and want to see what's in their kits before they get them, this is exactly what you will be getting. So you can see how beautiful they are. We've designed them so that you can use them in all formats really. You know, they are mixed media. They have got a vintage feel to them. The papers are 200 GSM, really beautiful, and the paper smells gorgeous, and it's absolutely lovely. So you've got a few brights in there as well. Then we've given you this whole page of tags with the weekdays and the numbers, and some other embellishments there. And again, the pages are full of a story. If you were looking at a scrapbook page and you just wanted to use parts of that, then you could use parts of that. So that is your 12 by 12. So the next one we did, which is the A4. Let me just pull this out. Is the 120 GSM. And the reason we did this is that if you're looking at getting something which is to put onto a box, or you're looking at doing something which is a little bit different, then this is a really lighter weight. So if you're looking at inserts, envelopes, this is a great way to go. So again, I'll just flick through this. They are different. Some of the pages are similar, but they are also some pages are different. Different set of embellishments there with the A4. Again, you can use all of these templates to do whatever you want to do with them. But again, you know, the designs are absolutely beautiful. So you can just see that you've got all these embellishment pages here as well, different to what you have in the 12 by 12. So you've got this here as well. So it's a really nice way to see how you can use these papers. You know, you've got quite a lot of elements here already. So there's a nice envelope there, great one to use as a template as well. You've got like 4 A6s here if you wanted to use them like that. Again, you could be using these in your journaling, you could be using these in your card making, in your planners. It really is up to you. And we just thought it would be really nice to give you a collection with an A4 pad as well. So that's your A4 pad. The next one you're going to get is your 8 by 8 pad, which is a 200 GSM, absolutely beautiful. Now this is slightly bigger than an 8 by 8. It's 210 by 210, which is 8.6 inches. So you can just see, again, absolutely beautiful. You've got some fussy cutting that you can do here. This matches the back page of your 12 by 12. So you have got some elements which are different. Obviously the sizes of tags are different on this. And we've sort of incorporated, so you've got the embellishments slightly in different sizes to the A4. Love this page. I just think it's just a really nice arty page. We've also given you, if you want to do circle toppers, you've got all of that in there. So again, really, really nice way to use the pad. Again, you could use these as 4 pockets. If you didn't want to use them as 4 pockets, you could use them as 4 toppers. You could make them into waterfall cards. And again, you've got another set of circle toppers there. Really lovely tearaway elements here. You can make these all into pockets. You've got a couple of envelopes there. You've got some little tags here. So there's quite a lot going on in these books. They're absolutely beautiful. They tell a story by themselves. So there's no other way to describe them really. They are just so lovely to work with. You've got these Polaroid sort of effects where you could be adding your own photographs in and so forth. So really, really nice 8 by 8. Then we thought we'd do a little, so cute, this is probably one of the cutest things we've ever done. Oops, little designs are flying away. A 1 4 by 4 8. It's just slightly smaller than a 6 by 6, but it's so cute. So again, you've got the smaller tags on this. You've got some papers here. Different papers. This is a different one. We've not done this design in any of the other previous pages. So you have got designs which are different in each of the different pads. So it means that you've got just a lot more versatility. Absolutely beautiful. I did do a demo on Crankcraft with this one in the postcard format. So you can just see, absolutely beautiful. Really, really nice to work with. Really lovely colours. You've got some brights in there, so if you're somebody who likes to do a bit of brights and so forth. Again, we've given you that sheet in the 6 by 6. Then we did some postcards, and I did 43 designs, so there's 23 I think in total. And again, we've got some which are going to be portrait and some landscape. So these are a landscape. They are so beautiful. I mean, I just can't tell you how gorgeous they look, feel, how lovely they are. And again, all made to fit. You can see we've got some of the stamps represented in here. Absolutely beautiful. That's one of the portrait ones. And another portrait one. So you've got some which are going to be portrait. So I've done half and half basically. So absolutely gorgeous to work with. Just absolutely love it. I think it's such a lovely way to do your postcards. So you can just see, you know, you don't have to really do much really with this collection. It's just working out where you want to put everything. So I just wanted to share, you know, at least the designs with you, so that if you haven't seen the designs, that you can have a better idea of what those designs look like. Okay. So absolutely, there's so much to it, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So you can just see, and then finally, okay. So you've got those there. So that's all the paper done. Then we've got the beautiful stamps in here. I'll just quickly show you those. So you've got the beautiful vintage florals. They'll probably reflect a little bit. And these are lovely because you can use all of these individually to create your pages. They also fit within the stencils. They also fit within the notebook and the stamps as well. Got this beautiful one. I have to say my little baby sister drew the kingfisher for us. So it's really nice and it's a really beautiful stamp again. You've got two pieces on this stamp. This one is a really nice postcard one. Got a few words there. You've got this tag which fits every other sort of smaller image into that we've designed, and so you've got this really nice. You've got some mixed media elements there. This is a whole stamp but can be used in isolation. It's a vintage dragonfly. I love dragonflies, and again you can use parts of it, you can use all of it, you can use whichever element you want to use of it. It's really nice, and we've got an alphabet stencil to sort of support that one as well. So this is the vintage notebook, and as you can see, this little notebook here. These all fit into the notebook. Also the floral and vintage flowers fit into that. It's a really beautiful stamp collection. I really recommend it. If anybody loves stamping, then you will not be disappointed with this. So that's a really nice set there. So you get 6 stamps. So you get all the pads, you get the 6 stamps. Okay, so we've also given you, let me show you the stencils next. You also get the stencils. Now the stencils complement the stamps as well in the range. You've got this beautiful alphabet stencil. Got Loopy Loop, which is really lovely. You've got this coffee stain, which I've decided to do in ovals this time, and then each of the images actually from the stamps fit within that. Same with this one, with the oval circles. Again, the images fit within these smaller images of the circles. You've got this beautiful sort of, I thought this captured sort of an elements of a planner, elements of the alphabet, the numbers, and so really loved it. And we always tend to do a vortex in most of our collections. And again, you can, within these squares, you can fit in the stamps as well. So absolutely beautiful rectangular shapes there. So those are your 6 stencils. Then moving on from that, we've also given you some envelopes to embellish your journals with, where you get five envelopes. You get 2 which are blank like this, 2 which are like this, with the wages, and then 1 with the dinner money. So you get these 5 envelopes within the bigger kit as well. This is a Create and Craft kit I'm showing you at the moment. You get over 100 embellishments. I'm not going to go through all the embellishments with you, but you get over 100 embellishments there from all sorts. And then you get your double journal kit, which is what I'm going to talk about today with you and how to put this together. So this first workshop is about your double journal kit and what you get. So, so you're going to get the 2 sheets of the, in the Create and Craft one, you do actually get the vellum, you get the craft paper, you get the 2 sheets of Tyvek, and you get the double journal, plus the embellishments, plus the magnets, plus the glue. So So I just want to let you know, if you want to buy extra double journal kits, we have them on the website, and then you get the 2 sheets of paper, the elements to make the double journal, plus the embellishments, plus the glue. So I'm just going to put all this back into its beautiful little box. So it's quite a big kit. So anybody who's looking at purchasing that, it will go a long, long way. So what is it all about? What is this double journal kit all about? So it was something I wanted to bring you that was going to give you something which was really special, I suppose, something different, something that wasn't using dies but could be complemented by dies. So let me just show you the top of it. So you can see here now. This is I'll just measure it for you, because I do remember the measurements, but I'll measure it and just tell you. So this is 22, just over 22 centimeters, 22 centimeters long, and it's going to be with the double, we're going to have just over 10 centimeters wide, and that's because that's the panels within the actual journal kit. So I will show you that. We've given you the latch as well. Used some of the embellishments, and obviously you can see we used some of the papers, used some of the numbers, used this from the embellishment kit. So you can see that we've done a few of those, obviously from the papers. So that's the front of it. This is the side of it. So you just use the vintage notes there. And then obviously we've got turn it around because it's quite a big book, and the back of it. Okay, so let me open this out and start to show you exactly what this looks like. So you open it out. I haven't velcroed that side in. So you get this double journal. Okay, so then these flaps open out again. I mean, my camera is not big enough to show you all this. So those open out again. So that's where your double journal concept comes from. Okay, so then what I've done is I'm going to show you one side of the journal first, because I think it's easier to show you one side first. So that is your joint here. So let me get the kit, so then if anybody's thinking how does it work, it's much easier to show you. So the kit, this is your middle panel. Now if you're doing a double kit, you will use this. If you're not, then you don't need to use it. And that is the panel that goes there. Okay, and then what you get is you get your middle panel here. I'm just going to take this out so that you can see. And then you get this panel goes here. And then on the other side, this panel goes here. Okay, so I've got this sheet in the way, but if you didn't have this sheet in the way. So that is how it forms it. So let me put this all down for you and show you first, because I think it's important that you get the gist of what I'm going to be doing. Okay, so it's really, really straightforward. So let me just get one more card here and I'll show you. I know it doesn't all fit into the camera, so it's because it's so big. Okay. And then we've got another one over here. Little paints out the way. I've got to move everything out the way to make this album work. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. So what you have is, you have your first piece and you have your second piece. Okay, so you've got your larger piece here and you've got your second piece here. Then you've got your third piece. And when you join those together, you will then make a, I'm just having a look where I've put my book now. I had it with me, oh here it is. Then, by joining those up, you'll make this single element, so there you go. Okay, so that's how you make your single. I'm going to go through this and how I've made this. So that's one. So, and then you'll have a second one like this as well. and then it's using the middle piece to add here to join the other side, so you'll have a double again. So that's how that works, but I'm going to go through that step by step with you. But I just wanted to show you that before I started. Okay, so let's go back to our album. I will be showing you throughout the videos different ways of adhering your albums. I've chosen this way to adhere it this time, which is with a piece of cardstock scored to fit into one of the spines, and I've done exactly the same on the other side. Okay, so let me show you my album. This is just one of my albums that I've put. This is on my left hand side, and this is just using the papers. I just want to show you how beautiful that looks. I might even have to move my book out of the way a little bit so that I can show you that properly. Okay, so I haven't stuck this down, but look at the beautiful cabochons you can make. We do sell these on the website, so they're the Stamperia ones, but they work really well for these papers. So let me put that aside. So what I've done here is, this is what we call our A5 quad. Something I designed, which I really find easy to use and to use as your basis for any of your album making. So let me just move that out of the way. So this is what I call the A5 quad. Now I'm going to be showing you this in the next video, how to make this one. First I want to show you the actual double journal. Then I'm going to be showing you the A5 quad, how to make this. Okay, so it's one, we're going to have 6 videos showing you loads of elements for this. So let me just quickly go through this with you. So you've got this tag opening out there, you've got a little bit space there that if you want to do it. We've put in, this is the Pip Art stamp. It's called, it's handmade, and it's got place your photo here. It's a beautiful stamp. Really highly recommend it. So you can put all your little tags in there. Now I've used a beige cardstock. You don't have to, you could just decorate it with just papers like I've done here, but it makes your papers go a much longer or further. And again, I've put a tag into here. And I'll be going through all of this with you. We've got the magnets, which you get in your collection. So there's so many different ways of doing this. So I just want to show you some of the ways that I've actually decorated this. So it's absolutely beautiful. Again, I've got a magnet here. This one opens out. And again, you can be putting your photos. But the papers are absolutely gorgeous and really do talk to themselves. Okay, so if I turn this over now, I can show you on the other side. You've got obviously the front cover, you've got a little bit of journaling here if you want to do journaling. Again, you've got tags which come in your kits. You've got this beautiful matten layer here. You've got this element here. Now I've used a Velcro to stick it into my book. You don't have to, you could actually glue the pages on, but I wanted to leave it like this because I think sometimes even in isolation it's nice. But I do love the big double journal. When it sits on your shelf, will look absolutely amazing. And I'll teach you how to put the ribbon in and everything like that. So that's one of the workshops or one of the tutorials we'll be doing. Okay, so that gives you a really good idea of one side of my album. Now the second side of this album now I've done is much more mixed media. I've used the tags, the stamps, I've used the paints, so I really wanted a contrast. So I'm going to take this one out as well, and I've Velcroed this one in as well because I like the idea. I can pull this out to show you. And again, exactly the same concept. You've got the 2 sides with the 2 bits. Okay, close this up and gives you this beautiful book. Okay, So let me move that out of the way because we need a lot of room again. So this one's much more mixed media. It's much more embellished if you're into junk journaling, if you're into mixed media, if you're into sewing, if you want to use all your embellishments. This is the kit for you using all your stamps and stencils in the backgrounds here. So this one opens out like this. This is your vellum envelopes that we've made. We will be going through that in one of the tutorials. And then you've got this, again, really quite impressive again. So this one's actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elements. So this is the, I don't know what you call a 6, but this is the 6 piece. So this is used 3 A4 sheets, whereas the other ones use 2 A4 sheets. And I'll be explaining that to you as we go along. So in this one, we've used some of the papers which are actually on your USB keys. So there's things to do. The planners are all on your USB keys. And you can see we've got some tags in here. We've used, you know, lots and lots of different things. So it's really lovely. So this one's slightly different to the other one. And again, we'll be going through all of these over a period of time, trying to, to explain these. Again, you had your brads in your, again, you've got circles that you can cut out. Again, they really do speak to themselves. And then obviously decorate them. They could be photographs. They could be whatever you want them to be. But I really wanted to give you this feel of this really quite impressive bit of vellum envelopes there, a few tags here. So again, you can put whatever you want into them. So you can see how this all works. So you've got all of this. Then if you turn this one over, it's quite a big one to turn over. There we go. We've just knocked a tag, but that's okay. You get these tags in your embellishment kit as well. So then on this side, oh, this one's a bit too long. Let me move it this way because this has obviously got the 6 pages, whereas the other one I've stuck down. So you've got this really beautiful, and again, all I've done is stuck some of the cutouts there. Again, absolutely beautiful sort of feel to it. Using a lot of the stamps in this because this is the mixed media one. Again, really lovely. Got tags in here with the journal cards we've given you. Really, really nice. So then you've got this as well. And again, you could tuck your tag into there if you wanted to, or whatever you wanted to do. Again, I've given you this waterfall card here. You can put all your photos in here. I'll move my little album along. So can you see how much? And this is all from, and I'm going to put that back on because I like it on there, and I love these big paper clips. Okay, so you can see how lovely. I'm going to move it again. It's so beautiful to work with. So you've got this really nice page here, and then you've got this really nice, move it a little bit further, really nice where you can put all your journaling cards into your pockets here. So this gives you a really good idea of what your book can look like, and it's really, really easy. And then that's your second album. So you've got one which I showed you, which is is 2 sheets of A4. This is 3 sheets of A4, and you can see these are A5. Now your double journal kit can hold whatever you want within them. So you can make them as big as an 8x8 to sit within them because they've been designed for that. So we will be doing workshops to show you lots of different variations after we've gone through this kit. Okay, so I'm just going to put this aside, and so you can just quickly see what I was talking about with what we're going to do is we're going to now make the outer of this. Okay, so that's our job to do that today, or my job to show you how to do that and make it as easy as possible. Oops, got a little bits come out there. So the best way I can explain this is to get your kit put all your pieces out so you've got a really good idea of what you've got in your kit. I always think that's a good way to start. Okay, so there we go. So your kit will have 4 pieces exactly the same. Okay, and 2 pieces exactly the same, and then a 7th piece which joins the 2 pieces together. Now if you just want to make a single album like I showed you, like this, then you only need to use 1 set. Yeah, if you want to make the double album, the big one I've shown you, then you would need to use both sets and join them with this. Okay, so let's get started of how we're going to do this. So you will also get, put your embellishments aside because you won't need these until later. You will also get 2 sheets. This is Tyvek, it's a synthetic paper. It doesn't tear very easily. It's great for giving you that flexibility on the spines. So what this will allow us to do is join these elements together. Now put 1 sheet aside and take the other sheet. Now the easiest way I find is just to, all we're going to do is split it in half basically, lengthways. Okay, so what I do is I tend to fold mine in half. There we go. So you're just lengthways, there we go. It doesn't have to be exact, but you know, if you want to, you can. Just fold it in half. Yeah, and then get your trimmer and then just trim that. So all I do, I actually keep it in half and I just trim a little bit away. You can either trim it on the line or you can do what I'm doing. I just find it just as easy to do it this way. So there we go. So I've just trimmed a little bit off the edge. That's all I've done. I just find it's just as easy to do that. Okay, so now you should have 2 sheets split in half. Put 1 sheet aside again. Bring out your 2 square pieces. Just make sure that they're both the same way. And then your smaller piece. Okay, that's what you need next. Okay, so now these all make your first album. Let me move that up a bit so that you can see. Okay, so this is what we're going to do first. This is the most important thing to do, is to do this first. Okay, so that's just your base. Yeah, now what you need to do is get your white Tyvek, roughly put this in the middle. Don't worry if it's not quite in the middle. If you want to measure it, please go ahead, but I'm just going to put it there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put this next to it. Now some people say to me, oh, how do you know what sort of gap to leave? I just leave enough just so that I can see a little bit of the white, but not too much, because I don't want it to be flimsy. But some people say if you just put in your card and then basically push the 2 pieces of card up to it, then you will get exactly what you need. Yeah, so I do it by eye, but obviously that is a good way to do it. If you find it difficult for any reason, the other way you can do is stick your middle piece down with a bit of tape first. Yeah, and then you can always run tape here as well, but I'm going to use wet glue to make to do mine, but you can use tape as well, and we've given you the wet glue. So let me start off with just putting this middle panel, so to show you exactly what I'm doing. So You can either put it onto the paper or you can put it on straight onto your grey board. Yeah. So now a lot of people do put both. They put tape on because it helps them, and they use the glue to do the manoeuvring. It really is up to yourselves. So all I'm going to do is I'm just roughly eyeballing that in, and I'm just going to put that down. Okay. And that's all it takes. And then what I do is, if you've got, I've just got this tool that just scores it all down, so you've got nothing. If you haven't got one of these, just use your ruler, or use your hard cardboard or your bone folder. So it's really, really easy to do that. So that's all stuck down for us now. Okay, the next thing we need to do is stick the next panel down. Okay, so I find it easier to put the glue right next to the side, because then I don't know how wide it's going to be on that, but I do know how wide. But just bear in mind that you've got this little bit of gap here. Okay, but it doesn't, this is where you might prefer to use a bit of tape. But I'm just going to come in, and I don't need to go all the way down or the top because it's already there. And if you get this glue anywhere, it is not a problem. I'm not too worried. Okay, then I'm going to take my board and I'm going to leave a really tiny, tiny gap. I want to see the white, but that's it. Okay, and the glue really helps. Now this is important you get all this lined up, otherwise your album will be a little bit wonky. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Again, turn it over. If you ever feel you've not got enough glue on, come in and put some more on. But by the time you've covered all this, yeah, you'll be fine. So if you do find you've got a bit of a lift or anything, please don't worry. So that's your first bit down. Okay? If you get any glue anywhere, just wipe it off. Again, we're going to do the same on this side. So you can see what I'm doing. It's quite straightforward. We're just layering this in. And I know a lot of you who are album makers will be looking at this and saying, oh, we get this. But anybody who's new or hasn't done this before, this is my way of doing it. There are lots of different ways of doing it. And I know there's a lot of people out there who've been doing this for a long time. Okay, so all I'm going to do again is put that, as long as you leave some white, because otherwise you're not going to get your spine to turn. Okay, so I've just got, again, a very little bit. There we go. And all I'm going to do is, again, press that down, turn it over. And if you feel you haven't got enough glue anywhere, then you can always lift it and put it on. So you'll see if it, when you turn it around, whether it's done. So this is our first part of it. Okay. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to put this on here. So these flaps at the bottom. Okay, so I'm folding those up and folding those up. Okay, so once you've got that, so we've got a nice finish on that as well. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to make sure that I don't want these as long, because when I'm going to do my strips, my 1-inch strips, these are going to cover only up to here. Okay, so I don't particularly want white here. It will not matter, but when you start to layer it, it may matter depending on how you're going to layer your pages. So let me just show you. I've already cut mine away, yeah? So that's that. So all I'm going to do is, I'm just going to take a pair of scissors and I'm going to cut those away. Let me just grab my scissors. My scissors are still in my Create and Craft box, so let me just go and grab another pair. See, I think they are. I don't even know where I put them. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to eyeball it, and as long as you don't do it too short, and you can always come in and cut this again. So all I'm doing is just cutting this along. I'm not worried it's not too straight because it's going to get covered anyway. And again, keep these little pieces. You never know when they're going to come good for a joint or something else. So again, I'm just going to take this and cut this a little bit. Okay. So that is your, basically your little flaps. Just tidy that one up a little bit. So as long as you've got a little bit of overlap, I'm not worried. Okay, and I'm not worried if it's not straight because as you can see, I'm making a bit of a dog's dinner of it. So, oops. And you could cut this down to size before you start. So if it's somebody who find it easier, then you could be doing that. Let's trim that bit off. Oops. There we go. Yeah, so now I can stick this down. I've done a very good job cutting this one, but I've done a really better job doing that one. Okay, so you've got a couple of options here. You can either snip into this bit here. So all you're doing is a very, just a little thin triangle. Okay, so that will just mean that it's a little bit easier when you fold it. So little triangles, I call them little triangles. So point your scissors to the joint and make your first cut. Point your other scissor to the joint and make your second cut. And what you get is these little triangles. It doesn't matter if they're different sizes because everything is going to get covered up. Now you have to cut that because you can't really tear this paper. There we go. So what that will mean is you've got this really nice, remember we were putting the black card over this. Okay, get that bit more of a cut because I made that smaller. Now, and that's all you're doing. Again, you could do this before you stick it down if it's somebody that you want to stick it down. So all I'm doing is making a little triangle in those. Okay. So it's a really easy little thing to do. If you want your triangles to be bigger, you can make them a bit bigger. It really is. It's more so that you've got that crease and it's not going to get in your way. Otherwise, you're going to have a little bit of a pull on it. So there's my little triangles. So just little triangles, nothing to worry about. Right, now all we're going to do is, I always put it onto a little bit here and a little bit there. Okay, so then just fold those over, push it down. The glue is very, very forgiving. Push this down as well. And then push this bit down as well. Again, don't worry if it's not perfect. Do want it to stick though. And again, if you feel that you're somebody who wants to use red liner tape to do these things, then do that as well. I mean, that's very good as well. Okay, so that should be okay there. And then we do the same on this side. My glue's I'm running it down again. I go through this like as if there's no tomorrow. I absolutely love it. I'm addicted to it. Pip's hidden hers. Okay, so all we're doing is pushing that down. Okay. Now, that is your first part of your album. Okay, now what I need to do is, so that I can get a good score line into there, is turn this over. Look, it's already scoring it for you. It's not difficult at all. But if you want to, what I tend to do is find your scoreboard, go in, score down. Find your score, go in, score down. What that will do is it'll give you an idea of where your score lines are on this side. You'll see it. And then just go in and score that again. I mean, this paper is so forgiving that even if you didn't do that, it wouldn't have mattered. That's the whole idea of this. Now, what this will give you is your album already. So can you see? And if you wanted to, you can make that more secure, fold it back. Fold it back. It's not going to tear, sorry. It's not going to tear. Okay, so that is your first. If you wanted to just do it as a single album, then that's what you would do. If you find you need to do it a bit more scoring, pressing down, then just press it down. It is very, very forgiving, and that will give you a little bit more. Okay, so that is absolutely the first thing you need to do. So, anybody who missed anything, I'm going to repeat it, because we've got a second one to do. So I think it's really good to get familiar with doing these. Now you could keep this as a single album and decorate it. Right, so as I said before, you need to get 2 pieces of your larger squares and your middle piece. Okay, again, let's start off with, you've already got your sheet cut in half, so that's easy. And then we're going to put this in the middle. If you wanted, you could already start it here. So let's do this one a little bit different. Okay, let's start it with a little bit less at the top already. There we go. I'll put some glue onto that. And again, like I said before, if you're somebody who's into tape or red liner, so I'm going to move this one a little bit higher. Too much, because I don't want it to be a problem. And then we're going to put this one down. Run my tool over it. You could use a screen printing tool. You could use one of your bone folders. You probably get some of these in your die cut machines. So use whatever you find easiest. Again, remember I said to you when we were going to put the pieces down, we just want to leave a little gap. If it helps, you can look at your other album. I've got a good idea where I want to put it. And again, I'm just going to put this onto there here. Don't need to go all the way up to the bottom. Okay. And I might as well do both sides at the same time. No, automatic. Look, I'm getting faster. So there we go. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cards, the larger square, push that in. And what I do is I sort of push it with it so it takes the glue with it, because I don't put the glue so close to the edge. Okay, so again, I just want a very, very small, don't try and put your clothes into your glue on the other side, which is what I'm trying to do here. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. And again, like I said, slide your glue in. Make sure you don't have too much, because otherwise you might join it together. No, that won't be a very good look with it. These kits are available on their own from our website, so if anybody's interested, then they can purchase them. Okay, so happy with that one. Turn it over, and let's just, whoops, turn it over, and don't do what I just did. I flipped it over too quickly, so you can see. Let me put that back down. That wasn't very clever, was it, Dolly? So what I needed to do is I needed it to let dry. So this is a good lesson. Oops. This is live. I'm doing it live, so I'm not going to do it again, because otherwise we'll be here all day. And then put the other one down on this side. Now I might need to put some more glue onto them. Okay. Sorry about that. See? Everybody So we'll have that bit there. Right, maybe I should press it down a little bit from this side. I think I just got a bit too excited. There we go. And what we can do is we can hold these 3 pieces, now turn it over. There we go. Just let it dry a little bit faster than I do. Okay. There we go. Okay, so you've got that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to trim this side off a little bit, obviously. This is a bit long. There we go. And again, you could measure and trim beforehand if you wanted to. I wanted to make everything really easy, and this is why I've done it the way I've done it. I didn't want it to be too complicated because that would hurt my head. Okay, so that's the one piece there. Oops. And then let's do another piece here. These are just cutting out little triangles. Okay. There we go. And each time you do, you'll find a way that you enjoy doing this, that you find it easier. Everybody is different. I'm just giving you a guideline of how to put these together. Trim that one out. Okay. Now it's a matter of gluing them. So put the glue straight onto your sheet. Now remember, grey board does absorb glue. So if you find you're finding that, then just put some tape down if you feel that you need to do that. But I'm quite happy with this. We're going to cover all of this, so don't worry. It's just our workings to get our album together. Okay, so I'm happy with that. It's a really nice glue to work with. So we've already got the double journal on its way. Okay. It's up to yourself how you're going to decorate these, but I will be going through some ideas. Okay. So I just want you to get started on the bit that's the most important, which is making your journal. Okay. Okay, so all we're going to do is do that score again. Just be careful. And then again. Okay, turn it over and then do that again. It'll follow the lines anyway, so don't worry too much. Okay, so you've got that. Fold that across like this. Fold that again like this. Okay, now you've got your second album already done. Yeah? So let me show you those two now. Okay, so now you've got 2 little babies. Yeah, and then these will open out like this. Yeah, you've got those. That's it. So we've got those 2. Now it is your last piece, which goes in here. Okay, so that's where your last piece is going to go. So we're going to use the whole sheet for this because this gives us a really nice bond. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do exactly the same. Put this in the middle. Yeah? So that we're going to get this to hold our bit in. So it's a really good way to do it. Now this one you might want to put some tape on, purely because it's quite a big piece. So I'm going to do that as well. I'm just going to put a little bit of tape, but you don't have to. There we go. So I've got everything in my box. So all I'm going to do is I am going to put a little bit of tape onto this, and that way you don't have to do this because the glue will hold it in, but I am going to do it just so that I don't have to wait too long for it to dry or anything like that. Also, just means that just gives it a good finish. But I would always suggest to use red liner tape or wet glue when you are really holding parts which are going to be quite movable. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off. And it's optional, it's up to you if you want to do this. I haven't done it on my previous book, I'll be honest. But I thought if anybody wants to, then they can. And you can do this on all the spines if you had wanted to. I actually find it much easier to use the glue because otherwise you're always looking for the end of the tape. You need long nails. Oops. There we go. And then the last bit here. So it's so easy to make. I can't tell you. I mean, you know, when Pip and I are thinking of these things, you really have to think about me, really, because I'm no good at measuring. I'm no good at doing any of that. Yes, you could use your dies and use these papers as well, but this gives you so much versatility. And again, let's go up to the top like this, and then we can cut the bottom piece off. So eyeballed, that will do me. Yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim the bottom of this so that we've just got a small bit. It's a little bit easier than having to cut it at a later date. Okay, so I'm just going to put that here, roughly. I'm going to give that a cut here. Okay, and I haven't done that straight, and I can tell you that now. No worries. Okay, next thing, we've got 2 albums. Don't forget you've got 2 albums, and we've got to stick these in. Okay. So again, what I'm going to do is, just so that it helps me, is I'm going to run the tape just on the edge of this album. Sorry, I'm on this album here on one side, on one of the double albums, and then I'm going to do the same on this one. So just running the tape across. It'll just make it a little bit easier for me to adhere it all. Again, up to you how you want to do this. Okay, just take this little bit off at the edge. Okay. Let's start off with one first. So this is going to sit here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a second piece just to be really, really sure that I'm doing it perfectly. Because these are going to be opened and closed and used, and so we want to make sure that we're doing this so that it's going to last us. But at home you can use whatever, if you're somebody who wants to use bookbinding glue, somebody who wants to use red liner tape, and that little bit over here, then do that. You don't have to do this bit, the glue will hold it in place. But I'm just being cautious as well. Which is not like me. Okay, take this off. Take this bit off. So we'll start off with one. So it doesn't matter which one you start off with. Okay, and what I'm going to do is, so it helps me slide it as well, is I'm going to put a little bit of glue on to the edge, but again not right next to the grey board. Okay, that's it. And then what my little tops decide to take a walk is I'm going to take this and I'm going to do that same concept where I'm going to leave a little gap. Okay, so that's it. I'm quite happy with that. So that is your first double journal. So now let's not rush this. Let's turn this around. Because I did that. Remember when I did it on the other one? And then turn this about. And then just put that down. Okay. So you've got that bit done. Now we're going to go back to the second part of the album. There we are, there's one album already made. And then let's do the second part. So even though it may feel complicated or look complicated if you're a first timer, I can assure you this is the probably easiest system I've ever used or ever come up with in my little head. Okay, so this is the next bit. Make sure your journals are the right way around, but there's really little room for error. I'm going to lift a little bit of the glue again and again. Just a really nice, very thin white line. Just not enough you can get your small score tool down. That's the best way I can describe this. Okay, excellent. And then turn it over again. Now you could do this right at the end as well. So you know, if you wanted to, yeah, to join them all together. The only thing I would say to you is do not put, so let me show you, if you're going to do this, do not put black card on these bits until the end, because if that's going to be your join, you don't need it there until you've actually put it all together, if you want to do it that way. Okay, right, so that's us done on this side. Let's turn that over. Same again. Look at that non-straight cutting there by Dali, even on a trimmer. Let's go. But you know, it's real. That's the thing. This is in real time, real. So doing my little circles. And if I did it perfect, then would you say it was too easy? Okay, so on this side. Okay. Go, one more done. And one more done. Okay, so that's your 4 little triangles done, like we always do, to get these joins done. Okay, so let's put this down. Don't worry if they're not level, they're all going to be covered with papers, so you'll be fine. Even if the black doesn't cover all of it, your papers will cover it. So don't worry too much. Okay, putting a bit of glue on there, holding that down for a second. Again, everything is adhering itself. This is going to be your double album that you're going to then decorate. A bit more of this one. You can buy the glue, you can buy extra bits if you want. If there's anything you have any questions about, just message me. It is not a problem. On Dali Art Market and Friends, any questions you've got, anything, then just shout. We're here to help. You know, we're very grateful that you've purchased it. If you haven't purchased it, that's fine too. We're just here to show you that you can use any of your papers, use any of your kits that you have, any of your, you know, if you've got die cuts, you can use all of that with this. It will complement it. Okay, so again, so we've got to this bit. Now what we need to do is do that turn it over so that we can score it as well. So I'm just going to take this in and just give that a score. Okay, and that also helps me just put it where I need it. Okay, isn't this quick? It's so quick. So there we go. Let's turn this one baby over and let's put that there and let's put that there. Okay, yeah, we happy? Make sure you've got your folds in. Make sure, oops, just let's drop it, slippy. And let me show you. This is our double journal kit, ready to be decorated. There you are, ladies and gentle one. So look at that. Yeah, so you got all of that there. Just looks like mine, doesn't look any different. Let me show you. So there's your front there. There's your front there. Put that back in. I need to put a little bit of gluey on him before I push him off. And then you've got your spine. And then obviously you've got your back again. Yeah? So that is the part of the book. Now, the next thing I'm going to just show you. I'm not going to do all of it, but I'm going to show you so that you can then do it. Let's take that little bit off. Is how we do the edges. Okay? So I'm going to show you that in this video so that you can then have your journal ready. Now, depending on your edges, what colour you want to do it. If you want to do it in craft card, you want to do it in turquoise, even if you want to just put white cardstock, it's up to you. I'm going to go with black. And what I do is, I just cut. Oh, I'm so excited, my little album. I just, let me put that here. Take my black cardstock lengthwise. Now, you can do a 1 inch, but I'm going to actually do 2 inches because then I've got a nice border around my book. I have to think about that, my double journal. So we're going in at 2 inches lengthwise, okay? I'll do all of those with this sheet of paper. So then you get a good idea. Let me just see if I want to make it any bigger, I can do. Let me just score that so that I just know that we're doing this. So everybody's different. Some people want it bigger, some people want it thinner. Yeah, I thought that. I need to go in at 2.5 inches. So let me just do that. Because I think I want it a bit bigger than that. I've done it smaller than that before, but I think it would be better. Or even go in at 3. Let's go in at, let me see, let me score it first. But the reason I'm thinking about it is I want it to be, I want to have enough there so that if you did want to cover a bit more, then you could. So what we want to do is we want a 1 inch score. This is probably easy to show you. Do a 1 inch, and then we're going to do a 1/2 inch score line. Okay, so we're going to be cutting at 1 inch and scoring at 1/2 inch. So the next one would be 2 inches for the cut, 3 inches for the cut. And I'm going to just score these in, it's easier. 4 inches for the cut, 5, oh, don't walk away, little paper. 5 inches for the cut, and 6 inches for the cut. And then I've got a 7 here as well. Okay. So that makes it a little bit easier, so I can't really go wrong. So just go 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, till you finish your piece of paper. Yeah? That's easier to do it that way. I just find it's a bit easier for me anyway. So I'm just going to cut this last bit off because it was a little bit over. And I've already got my score line, so if you're somebody who can't line up, this is a really good way to do it as well. So I've just cut that little extra bit off. Just keep that somewhere. Okay, so we're going to go in, because everybody's, you'll find, everybody's, like, when I look at this on my Fiscus, it's not actually 1 inch. Well, actually it is. Do you know what I did? I did it on centimetres, that's why I was a bit off. I knew I'd done something wrong. So, okay, ignore me. So 1 inch, we're still going with 1 inch. So 1 inch, so that's our first strip. Okay. Make sure you've got it. Oops. Make sure you've got it straight. Again, it doesn't matter because it's going to get covered. By the way. There we go. We're getting there. And our next one's 1 inch. And I can't remember how many you might need, but we'll have a look in a minute. And again, 1 inch So all you're doing is lengthways scoring at 1 inch. Okay. Now the beauty of these videos is you can rewind, go back and watch the bits that you need to again and again. Okay, so 1 inch again, and then finally the 1 inch at the end. So you will have probably got 8 pieces out of it. Okay, and then 1 inch again. Okay, so you're going to have all these strips, 1 inch strips lengthwise. Okay, and then what you're going to do, and I might as well do it all now, is I'm just going to score them all at 1/2 inch. Okay, 1 inch and then scored at 1/2 inch, all of them. Now, even if you didn't have a scorer, you can do this on your, some of you can do it on your cutting machines. If you didn't, just fold it in half. And that's what the beauty of all this is that if you've got very limited tools, you can still be doing this. So you need very little. Even if you had scissors, you could do it. Oops. So you could score all of these before you actually cut them, which I did do on the first one. So there's lots of different ways of doing it. It's making it easy for you. Okay, so all I'm doing is scoring at that 1/2 inch mark of a 1 inch. Okay, and the last one. Anybody's got any questions, just message me. Okay, so the easiest thing to do is now just fold that. Okay, there we go. So that's what your strips are all going to look like. Okay, we're going to have all these folded strips and they're all going to look like this. Okay, so what do we do next? We bring our book in. Okay, so that's what you've got, all these strips here. And this is how you're going to do this. So basically what happens is that you have your strips and they are going to cover, don't worry if they don't cover your white, it doesn't matter, because your paper will cover it. So they're going to cover like this. Okay, so I'm going to show you. So you've got, basically what you're going to need is, you've got one strip here. Let me just work it out for you, roughly how many strips you need. You need one there, 2, 3, I'm just going to work it out roughly for you, 4, 5, 6. So you're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 strips of 1 inches. Okay, 8 strips like this to do your whole book. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how to do some of it, and then we will do another part 2 where we will go on to the A5 quad. Okay, in the next video. So the easiest way I find to do this is you either cut the mitre this corner or you mitre the one you put underneath. So I find it easier. I'm going to do it this way. So I'm going to put this one on here like this. Okay, that's all I'm going to do. Now you can either make a little score mark, push this all along, make a little score mark and cut your piece here, which is what I find easiest to do. So you can keep these little flaps, you might use them for something. Okay, so that's all I've done. You can always cut it afterwards. Again, take your glue on both sides of your little piece. Okay, so that's all you're doing. And then we're going to stick this on the edge. We're living on the edge. Make sure that you've got it pushed in And if you need to cut the bits of, you know, where it's a bit long at the bottom, then cut that again. That's not a problem, just don't cut your grey board. Okay, so I feel like I need a little bit more glue on this. And again, you can use tape if it helps you. And then what we want to do is make sure you've pushed it in, because we don't want our album to look higgledy-piggledy. I'm going to put some glue on the other side. Okay, so then I'm just going to turn this over. Just make sure that it's all stuck. Again, don't worry too much, because you're going to get sheets of paper going over this. Now all I'm going to do is, I'll put my head in the way here. I'll turn this around this way. It's such a big project. And then we're just going to trim that bit off. I'm always worried about this bit. There we go. So if you feel it's not right, then so that's your first. Now you would do that around all the edges, but I want to show you what you do next to get this bit done, because that's usually the more difficult bit for people. So what I tend to do is I put this here and I miter that corner. What I mean by that is, again, at an angle, let me show you, at an angle, just cut that off, okay? So away from me, the crease is at the top. And then that becomes that beautiful corner there, okay? Now on this bit, what we have to be careful of is we again will have this issue of where, don't worry about these, where this bit will need to be mitered, got a triangle cut out, okay? Now what I tend to do is I tend to put a slit in of where that is. That makes it a lot easier for me. Just that, okay? And then what I do is I only cut the half a triangle, just a small piece, not to the top, okay? Just a little slither. I'll show you that. So then I stick this down, and I'm going to just put the glue just up to those notches. Reason being is, if I need to cut a little bit more away, I've got a little bit of manoeuvre there. So let's just put this in here. So easy to do. Just take it to the edge again, and let's stick the first bit down. As long as you've still got your gap there, your book will be fine. Okay. We need a little bit more glue on this now. And there you go. If you get some glue on the outside, all you need to do is just wipe that off. Wipe it off sooner rather than later. Don't worry if you've got any of the white showing. There you go. There we go. So it's perfect. That corner now is absolutely perfect. Okay. I'm just making sure I've got it really pushed down, because if you don't, then it will lift. But again, you just have to make sure you've just got those glue bits down. But see where we're going with this now? So you're going to have a little bit there, so we just have to be careful, because we don't want it to rip and to show anything. So that's why I've done it like this. So what I might do is I might just miter that corner a little bit there. There we go. So, but you'll get a feel of it, and then this is your next bit that's going to go down. Again, make sure you're pushing it all down. Don't leave any gaps, and then just push away. Get any glue, don't worry, just wipe that glue away. Always wipe towards you so that you're not getting it on the black card. And then just hold that down, and then do the same. Oops, I have some on my finger then. And then again, just make sure you've pushed it all down. Hold it in place. If tape's easier for you, use tape. Whatever works for you. Okay. So take your time. So that's how you will do everywhere there is a slit. Okay, that's what you have to do. Wherever you've seen a triangle before, you will do exactly the same. Okay, so once you've done that, go in with your little tool, make sure it's all dry. A little bit of glue there, so let's take that out. So, because it's still wet, so just make sure everything is dry. Because what you want is you want these bits to close as well. Okay, the glue there. So it's just a matter of taking your time at home and doing this really nicely. Just take your time. Now if you look on the other side, and it doesn't matter because you're going to be covering this. Look how lovely that looks. All mitered, all lovely corners, and so forth. So then you would carry on doing that for your whole album. Yeah? So you'd have that all the way through, like we do here. Obviously this is just a single one, but this is what you're aiming to do, is to get it all done, all covered, like that. Okay? So that was the first part of our workshop. So let me show you. So what we've done is we've created this beautiful album that we're working on. I need to put glue on that side. Let me just do that while we're at it. So I haven't put any glue on this side yet. So we'll do that while we're here. And then you would go through and you would cover all of that with the black cardstock, or craft card, or white cardstock, whatever you've got, you just need to cover it with that. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Again, make sure once it's dry, you put your score lines you can keep putting back in. Yeah, it's always good because then it just gives your project a little bit more movability. Okay, so then you're going to have your album, which is going to be like this. Okay, so you've already got one side already started, and it's going to look amazing. So that is your double album and how to work with the actual grey board we've given you and all the other bits. Yeah, so you've got this really, really beautiful album already coming along. So I wanted to say thank you to everybody who bought the kit. I want to say I hope you enjoy it as much as I've enjoyed putting it together. It's so beautiful. Oops, it is so lovely. So we've got more videos coming for you to show you, so you'll get those. And so this is it, where we are at the moment with it. So thank you very, very much, and I will see you in part 2. Bye for now.